anyway, Destro stumbles onto the downed plane that they're after, and there's a message on the computer from this dude, Alec Peter Gilmore.
The late Alec Peter Gilmore, I presume.
And he takes his own life.
Yeah, so...
Or he has taken his own life.
Yeah, it was more kind of stuff that they wanted. It was like the Omega classification, whatever it was, and Destro wanted it. So he goes to try and, get it. Unfortunately, the everything was destroyed. The pilot was killed, and then he killed himself so that no one would ever get the information, because he was the only one that knew about that information. So,
and then last page, they're all just laughing with each other, and then real sinister. Then Flint clocks him right on the head with the shotgun.
Merry Christmas. Yeah, lovely
Brutal.
stuff. Yeah.
What did I give this?
It's kind of more Robert Smith art, so it's got that Robert Smith vibe going on with it.
Six I gave that.
Okay, with so many wobbly lines, it's remarkable.
Whoa! It's an Action Force pop quiz. It's an Action Force pop quiz. Question 1. I've got a TAC page here, which I forgot what that stands for something. Tactical
Arms Compendium.
Yeah, that's what I said. Code name Iceberg. File name.
Iceberg's file name.
Do you have these issues in front of you?
No.
Okay.
Iceberg's file name. No, I can't remember it.
Clifton L. Nash.
Clifton L. Nash. I did know that.
Primary military specialty.
It's going to be winter operations.
Is that what you're going with, winter operations?
I think winter operations is like secondary.
Okay, what's secondary is cold weather survival instructor.
Oh yeah, okay. So like they're all infantry usually.
Primary military specialty, infantry.
Yeah. Place
of birth. Want to give a hit on that?
Yeah, it's in the States. I think it's Texas. I don't know where.
Brownsville.
Yeah, that's it. Because he hates cold weather.
No.
Or he loves cold weather, but he's in Texas. I can't remember which one it is.
If there's one thing Iceberg hates, it's hot weather.
Hot weather. That's okay. Yeah.
But fair shout. I think you did okay there.
Thanks.
Rest of the issue is taken up by Gunboat. Let's move on to issue 9, 60 pence of your hard-earned money. Ice Spy with My Little Eye, and it's cover girl on the front, scantily clad in front of a big diamond holding a massive gun.
Yep.
The diamond's not holding the gun, she is.
Yeah.
This story is called Diamond Lies, written by Simon Furman, pencils by Robin Smith.
Yes, again, got that Robin Smith vibe.
Yep.
This one I really like because it introduces a character that, again, we don't see again. It's a one-hit wonder, and that's Weaponsmith. And he's basically created this gun, or this high-powered laser, powered by diamonds, which is hilarious.
There's one panel of him holding it, and it's just rammed with diamonds at the top.
Yeah, with the snake on the snake head thing. Yeah, it's
amazing.
Wicked. So what I want to say about this is I just went to CoilCon recently.
Yep.
And at CoilCon they had a 12-inch exclusive custom figure that they did. Did lots of them, and then they sell them as show exclusives. And it was the 12-inch Weaponsmith. He had They had a coat custom made, trousers custom made, and a shirt with the CoilCon logo on it underneath. It's beautiful. I'll sort pictures out and stuff like that. They also got Raging Spoon to cast an original Stone Killer 12-inch scale, and it is absolutely perfect. It's beautiful. It's even got the sparkly diamond things inside the mouth of the snake. It's brilliant. So yeah, they went all out for that, and it is brilliant. So this story's it's all right. It's fun. It's like quite action packed. A little bit longer than some of the other issues.
It's another one of these ones where it felt very US superhero-y kind of thing.
Yeah.
The bad guys, obviously Cobra, but you feel like it's a little sect. This is what I kind of liked from the Action Force Weekly, whereas Cobra was the main threat, but there were side pockets of Cobra doing stuff. And here it feels like this is another one of those. Weaponsmith with his kind of probable own band of Crimson Guard. They're doing diamond heists because they need the diamonds to power his new weapons he's cooking up.
And he's a big fella, isn't he?
Yeah.
Built.
Yeah.
So yeah, and obviously like Courtney Krieger, aka Cover Girl, she is undercover as a model. That was her previous job, and she even moans about it. She says, I thought I was done with all this crap, and now they've got me out here doing this. And effectively, she's bait. She gets captured because she's got the biggest diamond in the world. She's wearing the biggest diamond in the world as like a, like a publicity stunt, but also to lure them in. That's exactly what happens. She's captured. She thinks her cover is still intact, but he knows exactly who she is. They end up at a windmill, and she's kind of like tied up. And the Joes have been trying to kind of like have been chasing their tail pretty much the whole time, and the Cobra guys have been ahead of them every step of the way. And they're going to kind of like again lure Action Force in to save CoverGirl, who's like tied up, very damsel in distress crap.
Yeah, because they got there's a tracking device in her necklace, isn't there?
Yeah, and he realizes that obviously. And when they get there, he's got the Stone Killer, and he nearly kills everyone, but doesn't. Takes them out, kind of keeps them at bay. Flint is like, absolutely. He's got his knife out, but like most of his clothes have been burnt off. Yeah. And he kind of unties CoverGirl, and they get out of the windmill as it kind of blows up, or a part of it blows up. Oh no, I tell a lie. That's not blowing up. It's on fire. But then
this weapon, it's not actually doing much. Well, it is blowing stuff up, but it's
And so he shoots at them, nearly takes them out. Flint instructs Wild Bill to fly in close and try and take him out, and that gives him like a moment to run out, grab him. He drops Stone Killer on the ground off the top of the windmill. They're having a fight on top. Flint gets away by grabbing onto the ladder of the dragonfly and flies off. And then Weaponsmith's there, like, standing alone on top of the windmill. And he looks down, and CoverGirl's got Stone Killer and just goes...
basically blast that mother to Kingdom Come.
Seems to work to me there. Literally damns him into Kingdom Come.
Yeah. 5.5 I gave that one.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Yeah. Just, I don't know, felt a little bit cheesy, but I don't know.
Yeah, there is. But again, like I think I like it for other reasons, and one of the reasons being Weaponsmith, Stone Killer, and the fact they've made that as a custom figure now is brilliant. And
then to tail off this issue, I've got Cut and Run from the Weekly, which is amazing. Go check out that story. It's all there on Blood for the Baron. We covered that in our first collaborative special, so that's a great story.
Yep.
Issue 10, on the front cover, we've got Snake Eyes in the middle, flanked by Beachhead and Sci-Fi. Bit cartoony.
It reminds me of Turtles. It looks like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures cover.
Good shout. Good shout there. Three of a kind. And we have got the first story in here is Blood Brothers. Ian Rimmer on script, Stuart Johnson on the pencils. This is a little short 5-pager, and this is another one of the ones where it concludes, and you think, okay, maybe these kind of subplots are going to get picked up elsewhere, because he's the surviving brother of a Crimson Guard, kind of gets turned over to Cobra by the end of it by the Crimson Twins.
Yeah, so it's a quick and easy kind of thing. Like this guy goes into the bank one day, he works at the bank, and it lo and behold, he's actually a Crimson Guard, and he's actually going to rob the bank for Cobra, and then just get out, kill, sort everyone out and leave. But
quick apologies. I said I gave that last story 5.5. I actually gave it 6.5. I was looking at the score for this story, which is a 5.5.
Yeah, 5.5. Okay. Spoiler alert. It's quick, forgettable kind of thing. But he goes to rob the bank. He realizes Hogan is still in there, the security guard, and he gets out, tries to shoot him, doesn't succeed, and Action Force are in place. And it's like, well, actually, it's quite a weird one, because all of a sudden Action Force are just there, or Beachhead's just driving past and sees it happen in an ore striker. So it's all like the worst possible scenario for this Crimson Guard has just happened across the board. So anyway,
and he gets ambushed at the top of the building, Beachhead, by the Crimson Twins.
Well, yeah, they find this guy obviously goes back in, retreats into the bank. He's taking hostages. They find out that he's got a brother. The brother comes in and they're talking to the Action Force guys, and he's kind of saying, I can believe it. I can believe he's a Crimson Guard, honestly. And yada yada yada. But he says he thinks he can talk him out of it, and Action Force go, okay, well, we'll do that. Beachhead's like in a sniper position. The Crimson Twins are kind of lurking, walking up behind him, and then you see them coming out, and the Crimson Guard has given up. His brother's given up, and they're walking out together. And obviously, Zaymot or Tomax have taken control of the gun. They shoot him dead, and his brother sees like this Crimson Guard die. and Hawk saying, "Oh my God, Beachhead, what are you doing? He'd given up, damn it," and all this kind of stuff. And you can see, I do love the face. Yeah. It's like it looks like Beavis or Butthead. I can't remember which one he looks like. Beavis. He looks a bit Beavis-like there.
Yeah.
But he's like it's in a mixture of anger and he's in the middle of crying.
And there's a chalk outline in the next one.
I love that as well. He's dabbing.
Yeah.
He's actually dabbing in that. I love how it is mimicking the pose on the other panel.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. So he must have
brilliant.
Fallen face down.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So and then obviously the last panel is Xamot and Tomax coming around saying, "Hey, we saw what happened. We think we know how to get back at them." And you can see he's like, "I'm interested to come in." So the brother is being turned to Cobra because of this plot to defame Action Force here and Beachhead. Yep.
Like I said, 5.5 for that one.
Yep.
Anyway, it's an Action Force pop quiz. It's an Action Force pop quiz. Question 2. I've got another intelligence profile. So the first one was an attack page with Iceberg. It was obviously an intelligence profile. Code names, Tomax and Xamot. File name.
They don't have a file name.
Correct. Classified.
Yes.
Specialty. They've got 1, 2. The second one has got brackets.
I remember
3,
this one.
4, 5 specialties.
Okay, I know that one of them was like law. It's like kind of one of the different
corporate law.
Yeah, that's it. And then the other ones are kind of like all the ones you expect, like espionage is one, I'm sure.
Espionage, yes, and this one has brackets, military and industrial.
Other than that, I'm guessing sabotage.
Sabotage, correct.
And I don't know the other ones.
Propaganda.
Oh, nice one.
And infiltration.
I never would have. Yeah, I wouldn't have got those two.
Place of birth.
Oh, it's like it's not Italy, but it's like one of the it's like islands, isn't it? Like Sicily or something.
Well, it says Corsica or Sicily. Choose.
Yeah,
you choose.
Right. Cool. Got one of them.
Yeah. And right, okay, moving on to the next story. Bats Out of Hell. Ian Rimmer script, John Marshall on pencils. This is to do with something about London Bridge and the bats
and
have
sci-fi.
got bombs and sci-fi has to do something. It's not good.
I like this. I
Okay.
don't know why. Are you in a bad mood? I don't understand.
No.
I don't get it. Like I don't find any of this as offensive as you do, and I don't know what it is about it that you find so bad.
Well,
like,
let's let the listeners and the viewers tell us who is more correct. There you go.
I'm waiting for the listeners to tell us.
Yeah, tell us now. In fact, we're going to have to wait because this is not coming out for another 8 days because we are in the past or the future or the present, as always.
So the bats are basically protecting a bomb that's going to take out the bridge unless prisoners from Cobra are released.
Yep.
And Action Force are on the scene. Obviously, they can't do anything about it. If they try and approach, it's going to blow the bridge. If they try and destroy the bats, it's going to blow the bridge. So like you can't do anything. So the bats are like connected with these wires, and they're around this van that obviously got a bomb in it. And they have to call in Sci-Fi, who's on a different mission elsewhere. So they fly him in, but they keep complaining because he moves at a snail's pace, and it's basically he's more about being careful than he is about rushing.
Yeah, that's the gimmick of this story. The gimmick of this story is he is a slow individual, and everyone else around him is rushing around being fast.
They're trying to rush him to get in there, so they rush him to the airport. Ace is trying to get him in the Sky Striker fast, and he's moaning at him, and they're having and then he falls asleep in the Sky Striker when he says you should be like ready to go and all this kind of stuff. And then he gets in the Dragonfly, and Wild Bill's like, come on, mate, you should, we've got to get this stuff sorted out. And he's like, I don't rush this stuff. Like I have to take my time with it. It's a laser. Like if I'm dangerous, I move around with it too fast, then it's useless. So and dangerous. So he finally gets to where he needs to be. Wild Bill lowers him down onto a roof of a church near, from a distance, kind of thing, nearby, I suppose. And then Sci-Fi then has to take out these wires one by one, so that because they're also, I think the bats are also detonators. I think they say, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, the bats are detonators. So this timer's going off, and they've only got a few seconds left. And he shoots the first two cables, but he has to kind of like cut through them. He can't just fire and shoot and take it out. He just has to cut through them. And then the last cable, the bat has moved in his, like, you can't see because the bat's moved. and he can't get at it. But where the cable's like intertwined close to the van, he has to make a decision on which one to shoot, and he gets the right one at the last second. And he's like walking off, going like, "Yeah, it's easy, whatever." And Hawk's like apologizing to him for losing his cool or whatever.
Yeah,
and
I think that's one of the. I think we're getting to the crux of some of why I'm not into these. Is the characterization of the characters just felt off a lot of the time. Like Hawk is just shouting at him, "You got 30 seconds to find it again, or I'm going to come up there and fry you with your own laser." Just doesn't feel like something Hawk would say. And again, I came to these obviously after I had a pre-described notion of what Hawk should be and what he's doing, whereas maybe you came into these and that was your version of Hawk.
Yeah, my version of Hawk is like it's whatever I'm given.
Right.
You know, it's like the cartoon, it's the comic, it's whatever is out there. You know, it's like that's just what it was. I don't think you read into it that much as a kid, and then and even now where I'm looking at it now, I can see what you're saying. I totally understand what you're saying, but it's not ruining my enjoyment of that storyline. Like that. Like it just makes sci-fi really cool to me. I thought sci-fi is actually really cool, and he's just cut some wires, and it's a cool way to get him involved. I don't know. That's how I come at it from.
Yeah. Okay. Next one up we've got is War Correspondence. This is another not a good story for me.
Why not?
The art is bad, man. This is Andy Wildman. It's some of the worst art he's ever done.
I am so confused right now. Like, I don't know what to say, mate, honestly. Like, I'm actually quite depressed because it feels like, what's the point in doing this show? It's, like, really sad. I thought this is, like, one of the coolest stories ever. And again, this is one of those things where it's fun because Snake Eyes gets his mask pulled off and it's like, holy shit, they've seen Snake Eyes' face and it's all and deformed, but we still haven't because it's mysterious. And
why did he burn the negative slide?
Because he doesn't want anyone to see it.
Why not?
Because it's too horrible, too horrific.
Right. Well, he's a war correspondent then.
Okay.
But there's a bit here I don't get it. Flint's holding the top secret documents, and then a couple of panels later, Ripper's got them. But
they drive up and take him.
Where does that happen? I don't have that panel. I have Flint holding them. Next panel, Snake Eyes is saying, "Let's get after him," and then Snake Eyes jumps onto the Thunder Machine where Ripper's holding it.
No, it's basically Ripper steals the mission briefing. He steals it off him.
What's Flint holding that says top secret then?
He's taking the papers.
Oh, he's got the jacket.
That's the folder.
Flint's holding the dust jacket.
Yes.
Right. Okay. All right. It's really, really not clear. Snake Eyes shreds the documents in the afterburner jetpack thing on the Thunder Machine. Yeah,
they give chase in the Ore Striker. He kind of like jumps onto the Thunder Machine. I thought it's really cool. For like Ripper's like, what the grabs them, runs to the back of goes to the back of the Thunder Machine as it's driving, burns them all off. Ripper chases him out, grabs him by the throat, and they have this little tussle. They fall off the Thunder Machine, and then in the fight, he kind of flings him over, but Ripper grabs his mask, pulls it off, and then like it's like he's looking at Snake Eyes without his mask, and he drives off, and he's just like in shock. And then the war correspondent guy sees it, like, and just grabs it and just burns it.
But also, he was offered 10 grand for this picture of Snake Eyes without his mask.
But that's the point. The point is, it's so bad that he doesn't think it should be seen. Like that, it's like the moral thing of like, should I do this or should I get money for it? That's the whole point of the story.
Right.
Like, yes, it's not believable, but it's like in a film when the same thing happens in a similar situation where it's like, do I do the moral thing or do I do the thing that gives me lots of money? In reality, you probably would do the thing that gets you lots of money. But what they do in films and stories is they try and make characters like, morals, upstanding and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, that's the whole point of this story, in my opinion.
Yeah. Weakest one for me so far, 4.
Wow.
Oh, it's an Action Force pop quiz. It's an Action Force pop quiz. Question 3. Intelligence profile, codename Beachhead. File name.
Beachhead, that's Wayne R. Sneeden. I know him really well.
Correct. Primary military specialty.
It's obviously infantry.
Secondary military specialty.
He's a tiny arms armourer.
He is a tiny arms armourer. And his birthplace?
New Zealand.
Yes. Want to have a stab at the city?
Auckland.
Correct.
It's the only place I know in
Beachhead epitomises the word cool. He never gets angry. What? Okay.
He does.
Right,
I think he does.
That's yeah. He never gets angry, thinking it is a waste of time and energy.
If this is where like the comic character does not really sync with the cartoon character, right, isn't it?
I've never really seen much of the cartoon, so.
Well, you've seen him say pathetic.
Pathetic.
Pathetic. Issue 11. This is Zanzibar on his little skiff thing. He's kind of strafing, who we got there, Outback and Psych Out
in
the Thunder Machine with a kangaroo at the front. Yeah, the cover's not ideal, is it?
I think it's cool. I think it's fun.
Wildfire. This is written by Dan Abner, art by Robin Smith. I quite like this one. It's a little bit weird in that for the whole time I thought Outback, they're basically Outback and Psych Out are in, I don't know where they are, Australia, I guess.
In the Outback,
yeah, considering there's a kangaroo on the front and it says Australia welcomes you on the sign. They're out there for a psych evaluation of Outback, and they happen across some dreadnoughts. And I was a bit confused because throughout this, Outback's giving Psych Out a hard time, and I felt like he was almost playing him.
Yeah, stringing him along.
But then at the end of the issue, Outback's like, "Oh, please don't tell Hawk, please don't tell on me," kind of thing. And it felt like Outback is a psycho in his proper persona. He says, "Sure, but one thing, Psych Out, you might think I'm mad as a box." But please don't tell Hawk. Please don't give me a bad evaluation. I'm as sane as the next man. And he's all worried.
Yeah.
And it felt like, he wasn't stringing him along. He just actually is, a bit screw loose.
Again, I think you're overthinking that one panel, and it's really just to set up the last panel. That whole comment is just to be like, I'm sane as the next man. Obviously he's not. He's all over the house, and then he shoots at Psych Out's legs at the end and says, "You won't forget, will you?" And that's the funny thing. It's like, he's a nut bar. Right. Like the psych evaluation is like, let's face it, he's going to have to tell his superiors, but it doesn't matter because he's Outback and he's a bloody good soldier and so on and so forth. So it'll be like whatever. But the whole point, I think, is to make him like a nutter.
Yeah. You get some road pig here, which is always nice.
Yeah, and I love that one where he smacks him in the face and then keeps smacking him in the face, and it's got like
with the lead pipe and it changes shape.
Yeah, it's got his like head in it. I think it's cute.
Yeah,
it's quite funny.
6.5 for this one. I quite like that one.
Yeah, I thought it was fun, and I also really loved the dreadnoughts in this.
What is road pig driving?
Exactly.
Excuse me, the Razorback truck.
Absolutely beautiful, isn't it? That's something I want to see.
Yeah, that'd be a nice custom.
In toy form. Yeah, got to see that bad boy. Get some Zanzibar in his air skiff. You get the blooming, the dreadnought cycle. It's cool.
Yeah, 6.5 for that one for me. It's an Action Force pop quiz. It's an Action Force pop quiz. Question 4. Intelligence profile. Code name, Zanzibar. File name,
Zanzibar.
File name and birthplace, please.
Oh, his file name was like... I'm never going to get it, but it's like a normal name.
Morgan Teach.
Yes, I wouldn't have got that. I know he's from like no, I've lost his bloody... Yeah, okay, carry on.
The Cayman Islands.
Yeah, I've completely forgot that.
Then we get a reprint here for Coils of the Serpent, another classic from Action Force Weekly.
That was a good one, yeah.
That was a good one. Action Force Monthly, issue 12, all new, all purpose, all soldier.
Super Trooper.
So this is some new dude with a big helmet,
Super Trooper,
big gun standing on the top of an MBT Mauler. Looks like.
Yep, it is. Yeah,
and
he's got a bazooka or a rocket launcher.
Yes, and
he's got his shield there as well. His chrome shield.
It's called Super Trooper, and it is by Steve Allen and Stuart Johnson. What I've never heard or seen of this guy before. Is this a one-off appearance by him, or was he a regular in other formats?
This is the only story for Super Trooper,
right,
I believe.
Okay.
He, especially in the Action Force run, I don't think you really get anything in G.I. Joe comics, really. There's like, I think he makes a couple of cameo appearances in like some very background kind of stuff. But for the most part, this was a mail-away figure, special, and it was a big deal back in the day. And so Action Force did a accompanying comic and story for the actual training process of the Super Troopers.
So is he like Captain America? Is he a genetically altered soldier?
No, they just have a more stringent and difficult training regime.
Right, I see. Because there were 15 went into the program and only 2 came out.
Yes, and those 2 then have to go through even more.
Flint puts them through the ringer.
Yeah, and I love this. I really, really love this story, and it's just one of those ones that, again, as a kid I loved it because obviously I sent it off for the figure. and the figure was cool. It was like had the chrome gear and the chrome helmet and he actually had Dial Tone's rifle as well, like a chrome rifle, and this chrome shield, which was wicked. And the whole thing was like, these guys are next level super soldiers, not only in our own abilities as human beings, but they just have to do harder stuff.
Yeah.
And some of the things they put them through are just ridiculous. Like, they're fighting cobras. And then there's that one bit where they say, we buried De Niro alive for 3 months in a pothole. Should have been 2, but he got to like it. I love that.
Yeah.
And then they're pulling him out, and you can see all his ribs where he's lost weight and stuff. And I just think that's just hilarious.
As kind of standard Top Gunny kind of thing, they're going through all their paces, and then they get put into a real combat situation. At the end, I
really like that one training thing they do, where that train's coming, and they've got the chain, and they have to jump like across from each other so that the train breaks the chain. And I was like, geez, that's hardcore. Yeah. And like all the G-forces they go through and all that jazz. But yeah, there's one thing that confused me, right? I thought I'd got the names the right way round, and then I think they make a mistake.
It's Goddard and De Niro, isn't it?
Well, it's Goddard and De Niro, but I think the names switch round, because I'm pretty sure
one of them dies. Which one dies? De Niro.
Well, this is what was always really confusing.
No, because the gravestone at the end is Goddard.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think is what is the issue here.
Right.
So the guy, it's De Niro saying, it only takes one of us to fly the plane clear. Get out, Glenn.
Yeah.
Because we both know you couldn't fly a Frisbee. Quit kidding around. I said eject, damn it. So I think that what they're saying is that I think what they're saying there is that actually it's De Niro
that is forced. The other dude's ejector seat.
Yeah, and that's the twist, I suppose, at the end, because then you look down and it's Glenn Goddard who's in the grave, and he kind of comes in. He has a go at Flint, and Flint's like, well. Yeah, you had to lose. It's hard to lose a friend, De Niro, but there could only be one Super Trooper. Yeah. You'd have been forced to choose sooner or later. Above all else, the Super Trooper must be self-sufficient. While you looked out for each other, neither of you were up to the job. And then he is Super Trooper anyway.
Yeah, I didn't mind this one. I thought the art is not the best, and I don't like the look of Super Trooper. But it's all right. It's passable. And then, like you say, you turn over and there is a mail order thing to get Super Trooper, and I've got a Action Force pop quiz. It's an Action Force pop quiz. Question 5. Another intelligence profile. Codename Super Trooper.
Yeah.
File name.
Top secret.
Even though we know his file name because we just read the story.
Yeah.
Primary military specialty.
I'm going to go infantry.
Yes. Secondary military specialty.
Covert ops.
Birthplace.
They don't tell you on the intelligence
Classified.
profile.
Very good. Then we've got Snow Chase, reprint there. Action Force Monthly 13. Couple of Rattlers. It's called The Blitz. Couple of Rattlers attacking, looks like St Paul's Cathedral, maybe.
Yeah, London, yep. So, yeah.
And then we turn
the soul.
Turn the page. We got... It's called The Prisoner, this story. Script, Steve Allen. Art by Robin Smith. Opens with a lovely opening splash page of Destro strapped into a chair with a psychedelic
70s.
concentric circles of different colours. Very 70s strobe effect. Really, really digging that first panel.
Captain Scarlet.
That's probably my favourite panel of all the issues so far.
Okay, good.
Love it. That's quality. Unfortunately, no. Go on, give us the lowdown.
Destro is a prisoner of Action Force. Cobra is waging destruction on London.
This is, just to recap, this is from when Flint clocked him over the back of the head with a shotgun when they're in the snow.
Follows on.
Right, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Until they release him, Cobra Commander leads it directly on the HQ, and that allows Destro to escape and rejoin Cobra.
Yeah. What I quite like here is what the American comic didn't do is they're depicting Cobra Commander in his battle armour, but with his hood.
Yeah, that's something you don't always see.
Yeah, it's a good. Well, I don't think you ever saw that in the G.I. Joe comics, but that's a good look. I like that. Flint and Hawk get into it as well.
Yes, yeah, totally. I mean, there's a lot of Flint is in confrontation a lot in these comics. Yeah. Like he's always quick to argue or be shouted at. In actual fact, he's not usually the instigator, which is interesting. You had Lady J yell at him, you had Hawk yell at him, you had Goddard, Dusty comes in and shouts that he wants to quit. Flint is getting all of the shit since Trent was killed and is left, and like Flint is now the head of European operations. And it's typical. It just reminds me of any job situation. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
that guy loses his job. The guy that, not reluctantly wants to be in the lead, but like he gets into that position and he's got to clean up all of this mess. And I feel like Flint is always getting yelled at.
This is actually the Albert Hall is the destination here, because there's a concert for the Bubble Bath Brothers. And just as they're about to come on stage, this is when Baroness and Cobra kind of load of troopers
join up. Oh, the Mamba got the Cobra Mamba in there.
Got the Cobra Mamba in there. Yeah, very nice, very nice. Lifeline.
I must admit, I don't. I know I said I like the art, and I do like the art that Smith does, but I don't like the way he draws vehicles. I find them really basic.
It's static.
The way, yeah, and like blocky. Like there's no detail to the actual like curvatures of like the Tomahawk, for example, was effectively a rectangular box with a curved bit on the front.
Yeah.
And that was it. There was no there's dynamic shape to the Tomahawk, but none of that was done in that issue. And it's the same with the Mamba a little bit. It looks a little bit blocky.
Yeah.
Sorry.
As easy as it was for Flint to knock Destro's mask off with a slap in the snow, we now find it's very difficult to actually take it out when Destro's not putting up a struggle. Lifeline
but how
gets
many
zapped.
How many times have we seen Lifeline without his shades? Not many.
Yeah, true.
That's a brilliant shot of him, isn't it? Like flipping back with his shades and everything. I think that's funny.
Then Flint comes in and gives him a good old crack across the face.
Man, they love punching helmets. And I like how Destro's like holding his face like it hurts.
Yeah, and there's blood coming out his mouth. Yeah.
Brilliant.
And then later on, Cobra Commander gets back into his hooded or his helmeted battle armor suit as they storm the place with Vipers, Cobra Troopers, Teleflop. That's a nice shot, actually. The Black Tomb for Destro, for Cobra. I don't think he'd shout for Destro, but...
No, he probably wouldn't. That, again, is like, I suppose, artistic liberties taken on behalf of a crew that didn't have the same continuity to deal with, I suppose. But yeah.
And then, bit strange, Hawks initiated a self-destruct sequence on the base. Not, that felt a bit like overkill to me.
Also, very much a bad guy thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah, he's coming across as a bit of a dick over these issues, I think, Hawk.
Yeah, well, the last couple, definitely, yeah.
But yeah, big kind of shootout between Action Force and the Cobras, and the destruction sequence gets cancelled. And then the last page is a strange one for me. All the Cobras are making their retreat through the subway, just walking along. There's a guy begging with, looks like a metal pot. And it's actually Destro's face mask. Why was Destro begging in the subway?
He's in hiding in plain sight. He got away before they did.
Right.
And now he's like just ahead of the game. And then like that's what Cobra Commander's like, holy that face. So he's deformed. We know
well, now he's deformed because he got caught in the explosion in the Action Force base.
Yeah.
Which deformed him. But I still don't understand why he just didn't leg it, why he's actually begging there. But anyway, I'm not going to do this next intelligence profile because it's codename Viper and it's just got one primary military specialty.
Various infantry.
Yeah, there you go. That last one, I'm going to give that one a 6.5, that last one.
Okay, cool.
14, Deep Trouble. This cover's okay. It's got Falcon, who's got a well-named underwater suit with his name down his thigh. And there's two legs.
Hydro Viper.
And it looks like a Hydro Viper.
Mm.
This one is called War Beneath the Waves. Simon Furman on script and Robin Smith on pencils.
Yep.
Go for it.
So Action Force are captured. It's cutter, torpedo mainframe shipwreck. Brought to an underwater Cobra base.
Yep.
Falcon, Quick Kick and Wetsuit try to rescue them. Mainframe escapes, causes the base to rise to the surface where Action Force is able to destroy it as everybody escapes.
Yep. Interestingly here, on the second page, I like the look of these eels. They don't look like regular eels.
Eels
up inside ya.
Up inside ya.
No. Yeah, they've got the red and the,
Is that artistic license here, or was there ever a version of the eels like that?
Artistic license all the way,
yeah,
mate.
I like it.
I think it's to tie them into the Hydro Viper. Because the Hydro Viper's a big deal, and it's they've again in the file card. There's all sorts of cool stuff. They get kind of like spliced with DNA and changed and all sorts. They have webbing added to their fingers and toes. Yep. They have all sorts of like weird like biological adjustments so they can breathe underwater much longer, and they have
and all that kind of stuff.
thicker like they're injected with like not blubber, but like kind of like to make their skin more insulated and stuff like that. So they do a lot of crazy stuff, the Hydro Vipers.
And they got, like
Demon
you
of the
said, they
deep.
got this undersea base. Is there any direct purpose of this undersea base, or is it just a general undersea base?
You have to find purpose in everything. This is a comic book for children. It is an undersea base,
Right.
man.
No, that's
what
fine.
it
That's
is.
fine. I'm okay with it being a generic undersea base. I didn't know if there was an ulterior motive for it.
No, it's just a bad guy villain trope,
Right.
isn't it?
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Cobra Commander's down here overseeing operations.
With his hood
With
again,
his
hooded battle armor.
Yeah, good, strong look. The Hydro Viper's here. Has he got flippers, or are they his actual feet?
They're flippers.
Right.
He has got webbed toes, but
Okay.
his I believe, but his they are actually flippers.
Big fan of the fact that Quick Kick is under the water,
Chosen for
shirtless.
this,
yeah.
Yeah. Interesting that Falcon's wearing a red diving suit with his name on both legs. It would appear.
Yes, yeah, and Quick Kick standard garb. The little twist gimmick here is Cobra Commander. He's got his battle armor suit on, which is obviously gives him extra added strength, and in the end, that turns against him because he punches Mainframe, and he ends up punching the whatever that thing that he's holding that is key. What is that thing he's holding? I don't know. Oh, the tax. I destroyed it. I destroyed the TACS. Yeah. Which is what Mainframe was holding, and that kind of worked against him. It's okay. It's a little bit kind of kooky, and again, it kind of ends with Mainframe's there. Cobra Commander's punched this thing that he didn't want to punch, and then 2 panels later, Mainframe's off, and it's the end of the story. I don't know why Cobra Commander just didn't turn around and then punch Mainframe.
And he let you live? That's not the Cobra Commander I know. Oh, he muttered all the usual "you'll pays," but I guess it wasn't his idea of revenge. I have a nasty suspicion he's got something bigger in mind. Yeah, it's not a natural conclusion, really, is it? It's almost like a rushed conclusion there.
It's okay. I think I'll probably give it a 5.5.
Yeah.
Intelligence profile, I'm not going to do this one. It's codename Hydro Viper. Well, actually, you can have a go at the primary and secondary.
Let me think. Demolitions, usually.
Primary is intelligence. Secondary is demolitions / sabotage.
Okay.
I've got a tactical arms compendium, TAC page, for the whale. What does the whale stand for?
Oh, it's like, I can't remember. No, I do know. It's what is it? I looked at it recently because it's in one of those issues, and they actually say it in that issue. It's like, it's okay. So it's hovercraft
Is
for the H.
Yes.
It's like hovercraft, assault landing, but then the E is weird because it's like.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Say experiment. Experimental.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's hovercraft, assault landing, experimental, and it's got to be something like waterborne. Water hovercraft. Waterborne, okay, yeah.
It's enough to give you the points. We've got a reprint here of Fast Feud from the Weekly. That's a great one, where they attack the burger station.
Yes, that is a cracker.
Absolute killer one. There's an advert here on the back for a couple of vehicles that I've never seen before.
What are they?
The Action Force War Weapon Transport and the Cobra Night Landing.
Yeah, they were only available through a mail away, in actual fact.
Right, yeah, £5.25.
Yeah.
Cobra Night Landing is great. It's got Firefly in this little dinghy thing. It's a quality image.
They're G.I. Joe vehicles.
Oh,
it's
are they?
just,
Okay.
they came out in the regular G.I. Joe line.
And other thing, that Action Force Weapon Transport looks awful. It looks about about 10 sizes too small for Blowtorch who's driving it.
I mean, it's just it's like you see at an airport.
Yeah. So it's a luggage carrier.
Those little vehicles and stuff, it's kind of more for like diorama display stuff. So, to help build the base out. So like you've got, the checkpoint and you've got the bivouac and you've got all those kind of things. Yeah. And the weapon transport is just something that you'd have in and around Sky Striker. And so like it's almost like, if it came with the Sky Striker, I don't think anyone would talk about it. But because it's on its own, it's like, it's kind of derided a little bit. But it's kind of serves a purpose, shall we say.
All right, moving on to the last issue 15. This is Flint in, what's that vehicle called?
Persuader,
and he's
also
yelling
Havoc,
charge,
and a Mauler.
Havoc in the background looks like Roadblock and Hardball. No, Cross Country, obviously.
Cross Country, yeah.
And then MBT Mauler. 2 stories in here. The first one is called Knights in Armour. Dan Abnett and Stuart Johnson are the people in charge.
Yep, I like this one. Falcon and Backstop lead an assault on Cobra, like a Cobra oil thing.
Yeah,
like
in the Arabian Gulf.
Yeah. There's also a team that sneaks through the pipeline to deactivate charges that are set up. and it's basically like a two-team kind of thing.
That splash page on pages 2 and 3 is great.
Yeah, it's great.
Really
beautiful.
good.
Really dynamic.
Yeah.
I love the art in this. I think it's great. I love how you've got those maggots and gun emplacement sections just like dug in and firing, kind of like trying to, it's all very military, esque, this one. And like you got the pipeline, and you've got, I love that shot of Fast Draw, Mainframe, Hit and Run, Crazy Legs and Tunnel Rat, because
the tunnel.
These are characters you don't normally see that often together, or even this is the only appearance of Fast Draw in the Action Force comics, and I want to say he wasn't in the G.I. Joe comic very often either,
no,
was he?
He wasn't. He did a little bit on the Cobra Island stuff, and then another one with Chuckles in that Todd McFarlane guest one. But apart from that, you're right.
Literally hardly in any issue. So the fact that he got like some shine in this, shall we say, because there's that one scene where he takes out two pieces of a maggot that have two maggot kind of front vehicles have come up to him, and they're like, we're going to get you or whatever, and he just shoots them both with his missile launch. I love that.
Some nice panels.
Yeah,
here
like it's really dynamic.
After they've just gone through the tunnel, there's the bottom left. There's a rattler that's kind of doing a flyover over the burning oil drums. That's a really nice panel. And then the next one of rattlers engaging with maulers, and then Havoc and the Persuader, or two Havocs. Get
Techno Vipers in this as well.
This is really nicely drawn, actually, this one.
Beautiful. Packed with loads of characters and vehicles and stuff. Really fun. Like I said, the maggot kind of pieces turn up, and Fast Draw takes them out. And I love that detail of he puts his visor down, and then you see what he's seeing through the visor, which is brilliant. That's a nice touch.
Yeah, and then the Cobras stand defeated at the end. Yeah, I enjoyed this one, actually. I think this was pretty good.
Yeah, this was one of my favourites. And again, mainly because Fast Draw is so prominent in it. And and I love that shot of all of the helicopters and stuff coming in at the end.
Yep.
That's really neat too.
Yeah, it was a good one. It was good to kind of end on one of the better stories, I think. There is a tag page here for the Persuader. Now let's have a look, see if I can get some questions out of this for you. What is his top speed?
I'm going to say 50 miles an hour.
His top speed is 50 miles an hour.
Now that was
boom, ding.
Was ridiculous.
This is the ammunition it can carry. It includes
no.
Well, no, I'll give you some HE,
high explosive,
yes. ABF, the first AB is hyphenated.
ABF. No. It's going to be no.
Airburst fragmentation.
I never would have got that, mate.
RAP. This is actually initials it's given me.
Oh, okay. Rocket.
Yep. Hyphenated.
Rocket something projectile.
Yes.
Rocket.
To help someone.
Aimed.
No.
Aimed.
To help.
Assisted.
Yes. Rocket assisted. And the last one. Here we go. APF SDS.
Well, AP, I'm going to go with armor piercing.
Yep.
What's the rest of the letters?
FSDS.
FSDS.
Yep.
No, not a clue.
Fin stabilized discarding sabot.
Yeah, of course I'd get that. Sabo, right?
Sabo,
it's called, isn't it? Yeah.
That is the Persuader, everyone.
Bloody hell, that was hard.
Here's the last Action Force pop quiz. It's an Action Force pop quiz question. I don't know. I think it's 6. File name, Hit and Run.
Oh, Hit and Run's one of my favourite ever characters. I absolutely adore him. He is... Okay, so this is interesting because he was Brent Scott in the US before. Let me finish. And in the UK, they changed it to Brian Scott because it was more British.
Correct.
Like, I love that because he's got Tiger Force figure as well, and the European Tiger Force is on top of that. So we've got 2 Brian Scott figures, basically. It's brilliant.
Wicked. Primary and secondary?
Well, he's infantry and he's mountaineering.
Correct. And birthplace, want to guess?
Basel and Essex. I don't need to guess. I know it. I literally do a panel on that Tiger Force thing, and I've had to say Hit and Run's information so often. It's crazy.
Good stuff. Right, last story to cover is called The Mission. Ian Rimmer and John McCrea is back. And this is a Snake Eyes infiltration mission. Laser smackdown on loads of Cobras on an island. And what's his actual mission? I'm trying to think. Sorry to drop you in it like this, Snake Eyes. I should be sending a full commando unit, but our resources are overstretched. You're heading to an uninhabited island off Sweden
to destroy a Cobra laser.
We need hard photographic evidence of a covert Cobra laser research station. There you go. Well, not to destroy it, he just wants photographic evidence. But in the end, he destroys it.
That's not what happens. Yeah, he F's it right up.
So well done, Snake Eyes. You that mission up. But
I love it, man. This was one of the. I love this particular style of story because it's all the infiltration stuff and it's all like stealth and it's cool things like Halo jumps and just really cool stuff. And you get to see like the Cobra battle bunker in use, and you get to see like. I don't know, it's just brilliant. It's just beautifully drawn. It's really kind of like slick. There's
very
loads
dynamic.
of cool shots. Yeah, I think it's beautiful. And the fight scenes are really cool and amazing. And then he goes and like literally just nudges that Rattler off the edge and trashes it into the just blows it up. It's great.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, that was a good one. Good one to close off.
Although there was one thing that always used to stick with me as a kid. Was the fact that when in that last panel when as Flint goes to get him and he's kind of comes out of the water because he's in all black, you can't see him. Like you can only see his visor,
that's
and I used to kind of like have to try and work out like where is his arm in there somewhere? I can't see it. Like it was like that one of those things as a kid. I was like trying to work out where he was. It's like a when you see one of those like football things like spot the ball. It was like spot the Snake Eyes body.
Yeah, so that rounds it out. Where did Action Force go from here? Was it then that it started appearing as a backup in Transformers?
It already
started, was it already doing that?
I think it was doing that after Weekly. I think it had started doing that after Weekly, or probably even during Weekly. It was getting that because they would throw in reprints and all sorts of different sister comics.
But we didn't get any. This was the end of the original Action Force material. There was no new Action Force stuff after this, or there was?
You still got annuals, and the annuals would have the occasional original story in there. High Finance is an original story where Jinx goes in to infiltrate Mars, I think it is.
Right.
And the whole point of that is that she's an admin, so she gets the information because she's in administration. It's like a cute little thing like that. But yeah, it's really cool. She just shows all of her skills. So it's not the end of original stories because we still have those kind of things. I'm trying to think if there was any others. There was a G.I. Joe The Action Force annual in 91. And that had an original story in it as well. I think it was like a Sky Striker X-30 Conquests Rattler kind of story.
Right.
And that was pretty damn cool as well. In actual fact, like, we're going to... What might be quite fun is to do the Action Force annuals as an episode as well.
Yeah, sounds good.
Maybe as another combo, another Talking Force job.
Yeah, sounds good. I think my overriding feeling now, having discussed all these, is maybe I'm not as down on them as I was... before we started recording.
You can be as down as you want on them. That is your choice. Like, obviously, the
overriding thing is I wish I liked them more. It's not like, I give this a 5 out of 10 and I don't care about it. My overriding feeling is I really wanted to enjoy them more than I did. So that's more. It's more disappointment than begrudgingness of
I feel it too. I feel a disappointment that you don't like them like I like them, and that's that's sad. But again, it's how the world operates, isn't it? It's not we don't like all the same stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, there were times. I mean, we were generally quite close when it came to the G.I. Joe stuff in terms of scores and stuff. But it was always like. We very rarely hit on the same, but it was also really rare that we'd have like strong feelings against an issue and you'd have strong feelings for, or vice versa. So it's interesting that we have such a complete separation here. But then also you love the Transformers crossover, and that's something that I didn't give a shit about.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So there's, it happens, and it's, you have to accept it, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, I can't believe it's been 2 hours. It's absolutely flown by. Good times had by all, I think. I hope everyone enjoyed listening to that. This will likely be the last you'll hear
last thing
from
we ever
me.
Do, because Chris is all angry.
The last you'll hear from me before the end of the year. Obviously, there's still full force content going out, so make sure you tune into that. But in terms of Talking Joe, we'll be back in the new year, and in terms of what we'll be moving on to next, we'll be sure to let everyone know via the usual social media streams so that everyone can keep up to date. Keep in touch with us in usual places, I guess. Talking_Joe on Twitter, Talking Joe Comics on the Instagram, talkingjoecomics@gmail.com, and Talking Joe, a G.I. Joe podcast. Obviously, Full Force. How can they get hold of you, sir?
You can get hold of us on Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Patreon. The Full Force podcast or the Full Force. Just search for us. You will be able to find us easy peasy.
Yeah. Any other business we need to take care of?
I think that's it. I think we've come to the end of this Talking Force.
Yep. Talking Force 2.0. I guess the only thing left to say is have a Merry Christmas tomorrow. Eat your roast turkey, your roast beef, whatever. What are you having for Christmas?
It's going to be vegan, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to be dairy free. So I don't know, it's going to be an amazing meal, I suppose. My mum always kind of goes above and beyond.
Excellent. I will probably be having a vegan Christmas as well, I think. So.
It's beginning to look a lot like vegans.
Yeah, it is. Scary. I tried that. I made a lasagna with...
Oh, I had that tonight, actually, vegan lasagna. Very nice.
With the Violife cheese. And
okay.
The kid who likes lasagna and loves cheese did not like this one. So
that's a shame.
4-year-old is going to be a massive struggle in terms of veganism. So
well, it doesn't matter. They can do what they want, can't they?
Yeah. Well, it's difficult, isn't it? What if we decide we'd rather not give her animal products, but she doesn't eat vegan food? What do? Do you then have to relent and go back to giving them meat, or do they just not eat?
Well, I suppose it's one of those things where if you're being given things, like if you're like being given food and shelter and accommodation,
yeah,
then I suppose you go by what the rules are of the house. But at the same time, you kind of want to give everyone a freedom of choice, and if she wants to choose to eat a certain way, maybe don't just like restrict her from it entirely, but just say you can have it, but just not, we don't make it. There's got to be a respectful.
Difficult when she's 4 though. She
street.
Can't make her own food. So.
Well, she'll just have to eat what she's given then.
Yeah, or go hungry.
Yeah. That doesn't last very long, by the way.
No. Right. Have a happy Christmas and a Merry New Year. No, that's not even how you say it. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I think I'm drunk on elderflower cordial.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Bye. Catch you down the road, etc.